This video is to introduce you to the 500 Club here at Actives and also to teach you how to build a large business if you're wanting to be in business for yourself. The 500 Club is for people who are stepping into a new role. So perhaps you've been in business before but not achieved the level of success that you want, and you're ready to step it up and play at a higher level. We're going to show you today how the roadmap might look for that. This is a little different mindset, it's a little different understanding, and so we want you to know the end from the beginning so that you can have a clear path of what the role is that you'll have here at Actives and what that might look like. We want you to become a servant leader, willing to help others as much as you're willing to better your own future. We're looking for leaders who understand that they're working with the end in mind, that they're willing to have delayed gratification and know that they are working for a bigger picture. This is a different mindset entirely. In our household, we talk about employer mentality versus employee mentality. And most people have grown up with an employee mentality, trading hours for dollars, being told when to appear, what to do, what's expected of them, and getting a check at the end of the day or the end of the week or month. This is a completely different game. This is looking for people who will be more the employer mentality, coming early, last to leave, willing to give 100%, make sure that things work out okay, and giving your best until the job is through. If you were to own a traditional franchise, there's a huge cost to buying the rights to own that franchise and set it up in the beginning. And then once it's up and running, a percentage of all your earnings every single month go back to the parent company forever. You're in business by yourself, but with someone still pulling your strings and making you conform to their established system. And you're responsible for all of the headache stuff, the buildings, the items being sold, handling the interchange of money between customer and employee, making sure that your employees are there and doing what they're supposed to do. This is different. Here at Actives, you own your own business, but there's no one controlling you. You get to keep all the earnings that you make, and you make additional earnings from other franchise owners around the world. They have systems set up that as you become a leader here in the company doing at least $10,000 of volume each month, you're going to be able to earn a percentage of every business transaction that takes place around the world, regardless of whether it's done through word of mouth, through the network of people just like you and I, of franchise owners, or avenues such as Amazon or QVC. It doesn't matter what avenue. They take a percentage of all those sales and put them into pools that we share as leadership. You can obtain your franchise rights here at Actives for minimal cost. It's usually less than $600, but it's whatever you want it to be. It's $50 for your licensing costs and the right to do business, your website, your apps, all of those things. And then it's whatever product purchase that you want to make. So if you have a large family and you want everybody in your family on products, then it's going to be a little higher than somebody that comes in and wants to just try each of the products. But there's no big overhead month to month. There's no office, there's no employees, there's no inventory. We don't have to worry about the manufacturing or shipping of products. You literally can run this as we do. My husband and I run this out of our home with a phone and sometimes a computer. Very simple, very low overhead. This is probably different than anything you've ever done. So I want to give you an analogy of the farmer. Farmers understand this principle probably better than anybody I could think of. If a farmer decides to plant a field and they're not inheriting a prepared field from a pre-existing farmer or a relative, they might inherit just a piece of rocky land, in which case they have a lot of work to do to prepare the land for farming. They're going to have to move all of the boulders, remove the grass, get it level, get everything in place. Here at Actives, there might be some necessary steps for you to take as well. If you're not coming from a prepared field, so to speak, a prepared field might be someone who's dealt a lot with the public, such as a realtor or a doctor, a school teacher, someone who has had a lot of people skills and a lot of experience dealing directly with the public. If you're a doctor or a salesperson, somebody that's had that interchange experience over and over, it's going to be much easier for you than someone who has been dealing in an office all by themselves. If they're quietly in a cubicle working on a computer, they're not going to have the necessary people skills to maybe get them where they want to go. So they might need to read a book or listen to podcasts or be able to take some mentoring lessons with someone who can help them. Sometimes people need to let go of some bad habits. They might need to change their hygiene just a little bit or the way they dress. to be able to conform to where they can interact with more people and be respectable. But this is just the process. We make a names list, we go through mental growth, and we get out of our comfort zone. That's moving the rocks. Once the rocks are cleared, the farmer has to prepare the ground, has to get all the grasses and the weeds out of the way. In actives, that looks like talking to people, using some of those skills that you've now developed, having a conversation with someone either in person or on the phone, sending them a text, asking if it's okay if they send a video and would the person watch it if they sent it. Don't ever just send something out blind. No one wants to be spammed. But if you get their permission and you've had that little conversation, you're much more likely to be well received. When the farmer, no doctors in this field, when the farmer finishes preparing his land, all he's got to show for it is dirt. And that can be a little bit daunting if he thinks he's done all the hard work. Farmers understand it's all just part of the process. And so we want to help you understand the process as well, so that when you get past a point of hard work, you understand that you're on the right track. In actives, this level might look like starting to help your people take personal growth, just like you've had personal growth, and help them start signing up people. It also means that you are still signing up people. You're still in the game. Don't turn into management mode, even though you're helping your people. You want to continue to grow yourself. And if you get more than 10 people, you're putting your franchise owners down underneath your people to help them get their 10. When the farmer gets done preparing the land, he still has to plant. And after he's done the planting, it still looks like dirt. It's a long process, but he doesn't make it last a long time. A farmer digs in and gets it done as quickly as he can, knowing that there is a time and a season to plant. The same thing happens here at Actives. We want you to sign your 10 quickly, preferably in that diamond commitment of 30 days, and then help your people sign up their 10 quickly, yielding you 100 people, hopefully within the next 30 days. This is a lot of work, just like the farmer who has to prepare the land. It's not easy, but when he gets done, he has something worthwhile to show for it, and so will you. You'll have made about $2,000 residual check that's going to come in month after month after month. That's a good addition to your income. You will also have gotten about $2,000 worth of fast start bonuses and other bonuses. So about $4,000 for doing that work. It's not enough for walkaway income, and it may not feel like you got what your time was worth. But does the farmer feel like the dirt is what his time was worth? He just put all that back-breaking labor into preparing and getting everything done, and he's only got dirt. And yet they do it year after year. Why? Because they understand what comes from their work. So we want to show you what can come from your work. Once the planting is done, the farmer sits back a little bit and hopes for rain and sunshine. He watches over the field. He scares away any predators that could do damage to his crops. You also can go into a little bit of protective mode, but you're still working alongside your people. Make sure that they're being successful. Help them to do three-way calls. Help them to know how to send out videos and to access all of the tools. Be there for following up with their people and answering questions. This is a time when you are very heavily involved down in your organization to make sure that your people are helping their people start to get their people. Then one day the farmer comes out and he starts to see some results from his labors. Things start to grow and the field starts to green up a little bit. As your third level, so your people's people start to get people. As that third level starts to grow and fill in, your checks are going to start to get bigger and bigger. This is a dramatically big level change when that third level starts to fill in. Forgive me, I digressed just a little bit and I took this back because this principle is not just something that we came up with. This isn't something the farmers came up with. This is literally something that is centuries old. It's taught in the Bible. So I threw in a couple of references just so you can see this principle is a true principle and it always works. Galatians says, so for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. We have to do the sowing. We have to do the preparing and the sowing of the land in order to be able to reap. True principle. Once your plants start to grow, the farmer does not question the process. He doesn't go along and pull up the plant to see if it's growing. That would only kill the plant. Same thing here. Don't lose focus. Keep pushing through and keep focused as you fill in that third level. If someone gets really stuck and you have got enough success that people are coming to you and wanting to know what's happening and wanting to have an answer for themselves, and you've got more than 10 people, take your extra people and put them down in the organization and help fill in spots that maybe are slow filling. It's all about filling that third level, not necessarily whose list it came off of. Here Galatians says, be not weary in well-doing. Keep going. If this takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. If it takes a year, the results are still worth it. I'm going to show you in just a moment what happens. Results will follow if you're patient and cultivate your field. The farmer knows this. He knows that eventually the crop is going to grow and he's going to be able to have a harvest. When the third level fills in, your check jumps to over $20,000 a month. It's a huge jump. I told you that third level is a big growth period, and I'll show you why in just a minute. $20,000 a month is enough for you to retire, most likely, unless you've got a huge, huge income. That's enough to replace most people's regular income and maybe even for a couple of spouses. This is based on everybody in your organization buying just the family pack. That's enough for the husband and wife to be on product. Now we know that some families, as they make more money, are going to put more people on product because the products are phenomenal. I know my husband and I want all of our kids on these products. We also want my husband's parents on these products. I wish I'd had these products when my parents were alive, but put the people that you love on these products. So it might be higher than that if people are really using the products and blessing the people around them. It might be lower if your whole organization is made up of single people that only need one of each of the products. So this number is flexible, but we find that the average family is purchasing the family pack or the immunity pack or something in that range. So this is based on $240 worth of volume. Will earn you a $20,000 check every month. In Galatians, it says, in due season, we shall reap if we faint not. Don't give up. Just keep with it and fill in those 3 levels. The farmer knows that one kernel planted can turn into hundreds and hundreds of kernels. If each stalk that grows from just a single kernel of corn can have 2 to 3 ears of corn on that stalk, and there's 800 kernels of corn on average per ear, that's 1,600 to 2,400 kernels that come from just a single kernel. The farmer knows that consistent effort pays off in a big way over time. Same thing applies here. So just to recap, if you take the time to put in your 10 business partners on your first level, and they're each doing a volume of $240, that first level yields 10% in return and gives you a $240 monthly residual. Pays for your product and gets your foundation going to build a very solid income. The second level has been lovingly named the weed eater level by one of our wonderful distributors. And she named it that because this is the level that if people aren't aware what's going on, can weed you out. If you do all that work and you help 100 people come in on the second level underneath your people and your check's just over $1,000, it may be enough that may not be enough that people will stick around if they don't understand the big picture. So we want to make sure that you understand this process. It drops because it's 4% on that level. And the company knows that the biggest portion of any person's business always shows up on the third level. So they've stacked the percentages accordingly. I'm going to show you what happens in just a minute. But also be aware, not only are you getting this $1,000 residual, you've also made bonuses along the way as you've grown. There's rank advancement bonuses, there's fast start bonuses. This is all based on just the residual bonus, and there are 9 bonuses. The other thing you need to be aware of is by doing these 2 levels filled in, you have reached the level of A8 in the company, and that earns you 3 shares in the bonus pools. So all of those bonus pools that are based on all of the income coming in from around all of the world, all the different countries that we're in, all of the avenues through Amazon and other avenues, they're taking a percentage of that, and you're getting 3 shares in those bonus pools, which will grow bigger and bigger as the company grows. This is just the planting of the field. Level 3 is where it starts to become part of the reaping. Level 3, if you look, that residual jumps from about $1,000 to over $20,000. So know what kind of a foundation you're laying and what the end goal is. The end goal is to build that third level solid, but you have to have the first and second levels in first for that third level to count. So build your business, know what the end goal is, It's the only company I've ever seen where you can have 1,000 people in business with you and earn $20,000 a month. We've been doing businesses like this for over 25 years, and I have never seen a return like that for so few people. We know that the power of this kind of a business comes from a few people telling a few people telling a few people. We all know a few people who want to make extra money, and we all know people who want to be healthier and to be able to turn back the time on their genes and to be able to get their bodies to function like they did when they were younger. Finding 10 people is very doable for anybody that comes in. So as this grows, not only are you creating retirement and choices for your family and the people close to you, but you have the ability to impact hundreds of thousands of people. If this continues to grow and the people underneath you want to be part of this 500 club, which they will, because we're going to go and have fun all over the world, blessing people, sometimes in service, sometimes just all out, flat out playing. But it's going to be very fun and people will want to be part of it. So make sure you're telling people about the 500 club when they first enroll so that they can jump on it quick and be part of that diamond in their first 30 days. If the 4th level fills in, now you're making $1 million a year. And if the 5th level fills in, let's just say the money gets better and better and better. But it's really hard to control anything past about the 3rd level. So for me, I'm able to make charts and know where people are and be able to get it out down to about that 3rd level. Beyond that, it gets really hard. So we do the best we can to teach and train solid in those first 3 levels. And if everybody just takes care of their own first 3 levels, the rest is going to happen over time. So I had this analogy drawn on a sticky note stuck to my desk for many, many years, and I thought that I wanted to share it with you here. When you start a business, it can feel like starting to push a boulder up a mountain, and it can be very hard to get the momentum going on the boulder. But there's a couple of things that I want to remind you of. Once you get that boulder going, if you stop and you lose your momentum in your business and you pull out and you stop talking to your people for a period of time and you stop doing anything with your business, it's as if you've stopped pushing the boulder. And what will happen? The boulder will roll backward down the mountain, taking you with it or running over you in the process. It's not fun. And when that happens, you lose your momentum, you might lose your group, and you have to go draw a line in the sand and start again. We've done that multiple times in our lives, and it's worth it every time. It feels like, awful. You've just had a boulder run over you, in essence. And drawing a line and starting all over can be mentally hard. But if you understand the principle and understand the process, the next time when you get that boulder going, you won't stop and you won't lose momentum. Trust me, we learned the first time. When you get going and you start to bring on other business owners, now there's more people pushing the boulder and it becomes more fun. You're laughing and talking as you're doing the process and you're building and growing up that mountain. At some point, you're going to reach the tipping point at the top of the mountain and the boulder will roll down the other side. And when that happens, your check continues to grow. Everything continues to build and grow, and you can't stop the momentum. You can't stop your check from growing or your business from building, even if you wanted to at that point. It's out of your control. So just understand, start the process, bring other people on board. It makes the process more fun, and don't stop. And eventually it'll run down the other side. We have something in front of us that is so powerful that we can go and we can bless the world and we can help change people's lives. And we're so glad that you're here, that you get to be part of this with us. We're so glad that you get to take this journey and be able to bless lives all around the world. Thanks for being a leader here at Actives.